Dr. Cronkite once said, in seeking the truth, you have to get both sides of the story. Coming to you live from the impact area of information and the destination of deliberate discussion. Welcome to Depth of Perspective, where the truth has no bias. With your host, Alex Kirsch. Information is our weapon, and we aim it on the azimuth of fire towards a better future for our country. Prepare yourselves for the arrival.
What is going on, YouTubers? How is everybody doing this evening? All right, it is Monday evening, and a historic day has occurred today, actually. Today, the Supreme Court ruled today on a vote of 6-3, the three dissenters being Justices Samuel Alito, Brett Kavanaugh, and Clarence Thomas that dissented on the opinion for today as far as when it comes to a ruling. The ruling is basically making it to where if you're a member of the LGBT community, you cannot be fired or you cannot be discriminated against for working at a place of business or at a job whatsoever. Now, this is a historic thing because the court ruling today, they brought up the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prohibits workplace discrimination on the basis of sex. Also covers sexual orientation. This ruling now extends to transgender rights. It is being viewed as a resounding victory for LGBT rights. To me, this is not just a historic day, but this is huge progress right here. Now, I have always been a huge defender of the LGBT community. There are some things that, I might ask questions about, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with asking questions because how else are you going to learn, right? The thing is the reason why this is so important is because far too often people have been denied, especially members of the LGBT community, have been denied being able to work in certain places. There was actually a man that was from Georgia. He actually was fired from his job because of his sexual orientation, which is wrong, honestly. It's a pretty simple principle right here that I have a firm belief in, okay? To me, it shouldn't matter who you love, as long as it's a consenting adult. That should be the only concern that we ever really have. A consenting adult is the only thing that you should ever have to worry about, but at the end of the day, it's still none of your business, really. But the thing is, I want everybody to understand something. The reason why this is such a big deal is because there's always been an argument about members of the LGBT community in the workplace, okay? And I just want you to know that it's nothing you should really have to worry about, honestly. Because I know even the United States military has had its problems. People have had their complaints about it, saying, no, I don't want to serve with a gay person. Well, the thing is, though, you have to remember something. You probably already have, and you just didn't know it. Now, I want everybody to understand something, okay? There's a reason why it's silly to worry about serving alongside or working alongside somebody that might be a gay or a lesbian or a transgender or something like that. They're people just like the rest of us. They're people like you and me. You've got nothing to worry about. I mean, if you are worried about something, if you feel like there's a concern that you might have, okay, just empty it out of your head. If there's anything that you want to do, the best thing you can do is actually talk to this person. Engage with them in a conversation, because I feel like, once again, that communication is the one thing that we are truly lacking in this country. This decision right here is a good decision. I know there's a lot of people out there that are real boo-boo faced or real bent out of shape about it, but you have to understand something. This is something that is really important. It's going to pay dividends, and it's going to make us look better out in the long run. The one thing I don't want us to forget, though, is just because this is passed does not mean that, people still aren't going to be discriminated against. People still will be, because there are so many people that are still against the notion that two men can fall in love with each other, or two women, or somebody that was born a male transitions into female, or a woman that transitions from female into male. Stuff like that happens in the real world nowadays. Let me give you some advice for those that are just a little bit concerned about it, okay? You've got nothing to worry about. If you find yourself at work, let's say, for example, you're a guy, and let's say, for example, you've got a coworker that hits on you and you feel uncomfortable about it. The first thing that you can do is you can treat it like any other situation that, you would tell a woman to approach a situation. If she's being hit on by a guy that she doesn't really want to be around, first you can engage and say, could you please not do that? Can we please keep this professional? That's all you really have to do. And if they continue to persist, that's when you take it up to the next level. It's that easy. But the thing is, I want you all to understand something, is that far too often you've heard stories about people that will say, well, I'm afraid of what's going to happen. What if they start hitting you on things like that? Again, it just all comes down to you acting like an adult and not just freaking out the first possible second. Not everybody, not every gay person you're going to come across is going to hit on you. Not every lesbian is going to come across and hit on you and stuff like that. I mean, you're worried about stuff that has not even happened yet, and you need to stop doing that. You need to stop worrying about how other people live their lives. But the only thing that I know is going to happen is there are people out there that are going to say something stupid, like saying, like, well, what if we have somebody that says that, they're a pedophile? Well, first things first, pedophiles are not a protected class, okay? They are not a protected class of people. There is nobody sane on this earth that condones pedophilia, okay? If they do that, they're not sane people, they're not good people. It's that simple, okay? So I want you to empty it out of your heads. The only thing that you should be worried about is whether they are consenting adults that they're with. That's the only thing you have to worry about, but even then, again, it's none of your freaking business, okay? I just want y'all to remember that. But this is a good thing. And you know what? You don't have to agree with me on this. It's that simple. I'm not asking you to agree with me. I'm just asking you just to kind of see it from a different perspective. The 1964 Civil Rights Act ensured that people are treated with dignity and respect regardless of their skin color or their race, religion, what have you. Now it's been extended to people of their sexual orientation. You have to treat people the way you would want to be treated. It is that simple. No one's asking you to, do anything crazy. No one's asking you to just treat them differently. Treat them like you would anybody else. Be an adult about it, okay? You might have a problem with it, but you know what? That's entirely your privilege right there to have a problem with it. You're going to have to make up your own mind about this. Because you have to remember something. We've got people in the United States military. You've got people that are firemen. You've got people that are EMTs, medics. You've got people that are doctors, that are members of the LGBT community. Are you going to tell them that they don't have a right to be there just because you don't like their sexual orientation? Are you really going to be that, arrogant? Are you really going to be that, short-sighted? Wrong answer. All people want is to be treated with dignity and respect. And if you feel like they are not giving you dignity and respect, well, guess what? You don't have to speak to them. But listen, if you really believed in it, and I know I get the same argument about how, well, it's a sin in the Bible. Well, damn it, there's a lot of sins that are in the Bible that we seem to slide by today. I think it's just more like of a personal prejudice that people usually have towards that community, okay? But just remember, you can't segregate them. They're not bad people. They're people just like all the rest of us. They're flawed like anybody else. They just want to be happy. Let them be happy. If you got a problem with it, fine. You've got a problem with it. There's nothing I can do for that. It's up to you to come up to that conclusion. And I'm just leaving it to you to do your own research and to ask your own questions and just kind of, learn on your own until eventually, hopefully someday, you can kind of come out of your bias and realize, you know what? There's nothing wrong with it. It's that simple. I'm not asking for anything outrageous. I'm just asking you just to give this time. The 1964 Civil Rights Act needed time. And it's made us for the better. So please give this time too. Stop talking about how terrible this is or how you're not going to be able to explain this to your kids, okay? First things first. It's not anybody else's job but your job to explain it. That's your responsibility. It's that simple. So just leave them alone. Let them be people just like everybody else. Treat people the way you would want to be treated, okay? We're not asking too much else, all right? I'm a huge supporter, whatnot, and I'm really glad to see that this took place today. This is forward progress into a better tomorrow. Hopefully everybody enjoys the rest of their evening, and I'll catch you again this Saturday.